And I want you to very, very simply to answer this question. Who's on the podium?
Scott's on the podium.
Open up your eyes.
I am.
So tell me about this race that you're going to win this weekend.
This race is going to go exactly how I had planned. There's not going to be any fatigue because it's just going to be there for fun. It's not going to be there to have the pressure. It's just going to be there so I can inspire others and so that I can win.
All right, welcome to the Average Sucks Show. Super excited about a guest today. Somebody that is absolutely inspiring from their story, what they're doing in the world, and somebody you definitely want to relate to. If you ever thought about getting yourself healthier, getting yourself in better shape, turning your life around. This is a gentleman that I had the opportunity to meet literally at a Spartan Race. Had a good friend of ours, part of our Circle of Influence community, Jeremy Jackson, had introduced me to Scott. And he said, "You're doing a race, Michael. You're going to be up in Seattle, and you've got to check this guy out." So we texted a little bit back and forth, and here's the really cool part of the story. I was getting all ready. I trained for almost a year to do the Spartan Beast. If you don't know what that is, we'll explain that here in a little bit. It's not just like a little Tough Mudder run with your buddies. It was literally like 12 or 13 miles in the woods of Seattle. And what was amazing about it is when I got to the race, super excited, set my expectations, what I was going to do, looked online and saw, how well I was going to do at the race. And I figured if I get done in about 3.5 hours, I'll be really happy. I run into Scott prior to the race, and I don't know if it was motivating or not. I said, "How'd you do?" And he's basically running at the most elite level. I think I said you were done in 90 minutes or something like that?
A little less.
A little less than 90 minutes in a race that took me 4.5 hours to get done. So my man today, Scott Giltner, I'm really happy you're here. He's been a student of ours and a friend and just a Spartan Elite. And if you're not familiar with the Spartan Race, I absolutely encourage you to check it out. You've run about 40 races, am I correct, in the last 5-6 years?
Yes.
40 races. So let me ask you a couple of quick questions. How do you explain Spartan races to people?
Spartan Race, let's start from the very beginning. My very first race was 2014. I was going to church, and a friend of mine was like, "You want to do a Spartan Race?"
Did you know what it was?
I had no idea.
Okay.
And I'm just that type of person. I say yes. Like, let's do it,
Okay.
And when I showed up, there was obstacles. You can see them off into the woods, and it was really exciting and pumped up to even walk onto the start line.
I had a completely different response. The people that Joe DeSena that runs a Spartan Race does business with a couple of my clients, and they told me about it for years. Like, "Oh, you should do a Spartan. You should check it out." They sent me the book. It sat on my shelf, like over here, for years. And one day I was going through a challenge, and I opened it up, and it said, "If you want to change your life, commit to something." You and I, you have power in you. I mean, that's amazing. You just say yes to things. I said no, for years. And I opened up the book, and he said, "It isn't about running the race. It's about deciding to run the race that changes everything. The second you pay that $150 or whatever it is from the race, or use your coupon code or whatever, and push submit, that changes everything." And I'm like, I've always said that for years, but I literally did that, and it literally changed everything. It even got us here. We would never would have met if it wasn't for that race. So when have you done stuff like this before? Like before the Spartan Race, have you done anything like that? Like, I mean, did it seem normal to you to just go run obstacles and run through the mud?
Basic training was similar. I'd say the Spartan was definitely harder.
Where'd you do basic training?
Fort Benning.
Okay. Which was harder, Spartan or?
Spartan.
It's harder than basic training?
Yeah.
You're going to scare everybody away.
Yeah, I was disappointed with my basic training. But
What do you mean, 12 weeks?
Yeah, it was 12 weeks.
So 12 weeks, you're saying Spartan running was harder?
If you want to compare just the obstacles, I mean, the 4 hours of sleep every night, the 3 minutes being able to eat, the 3-minute showers, that stuff was harder. But the obstacle specific, if you're going to compare it just to that, the Spartan's harder.
Wow. Well, I tell you this, and I spoke out of turn when I was at Core. I know you were at Core Strength, and I told a little bit about the story. And I know you've been through a lot in the last couple of years, and we will go through different types of things. And the one concept that you said to me is that you did the race, and you were working on a couple things at the same time, and you were making some stuff happen. And I remember something to the effect of you were working on alcohol at the same time, and you did the race. It was like 10 o'clock in the morning, and you ran into me, and I know that one of the things you were dealing with was working on sobriety at the time. Am I correct?
Yeah, I was still claiming.
You were still claiming sobriety? Yeah. Okay, so you did the race, ran it in 90 minutes, post race, right before you met me at the starting line, what went down?
Post race, it was before like my friends finished. I went ahead and
You had to wait for them.
Yeah, had to wait. And also there's later start time too. But yeah, I did finish before them, and so I had to slam a few beers before anybody else would see me. So
Got it. And when you say you had to, what does that mean?
If I wanted to drink, because I was so ashamed of it that I was claiming sobriety, but at the same time I wasn't ready to quit. I wasn't trying to quit. I mean, I was trying to quit, but I wasn't wanting to. I just wasn't ready to give that up and surrender it. And so in order for me to get that buzz and to be able to communicate with people, I used to not be able to communicate. Yes. Yeah.
So did you have an alcohol problem, or you just didn't want to drink? Because there's two different things.
It changed the way that I was. It allowed me to be able to be me, the way I wanted to be, which through your core class, I actually thought that I had a problem with from Iraq, but it's actually a me problem. And
so you didn't pick up the problem in Iraq?
No.
So you had a problem prior?
Yeah.
What do you mean by problem? We're gonna do the ADD version of this interview. And just to keep track of this, I know we're about to go ADD right now because how old are you?
At 31.
We have to have ADD. I'm 42. Yeah. There has to be ADD. Definitely want to click subscribe, review this, make certain to share this with people. This is definitely something you want to share with people. If you're in iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, whatever, make certain to subscribe, and we're going to give you tons of updates on other things in the future. Plus, I'm going to ask him a magic question a little later, and you're going to watch some live coaching right here in the video or listen to it, depending on how you're doing this. So you didn't even tell you I'm going to do that. So
no.
When did you know you had this challenge? Or what was this challenge? You said like you learned it at core. Like what was it?
The challenge was me being comfortable with me.
Okay.
I remember.
But that's what you say after therapy.
Therapy.
What were you saying at
before
12 years old, 11 years old, 10 years old? Like, were you shy?
I was a little shy. Yes,
okay.
I was. I was good with like a little small core people.
Where are you from?
I'm from Idaho.
Okay. A lot of people there?
No, not
from Jersey.
when I grew up. No.
Okay. So you grew up in a little town.
Yeah.
A lot of brothers and sisters, or
one brother.
One brother. Okay. You guys get along good?
We did as kids, yes.
Okay, not as adults?
No, not so much.
Different kind of person?
Yeah, different kind of person. He drinks.
Okay, and you don't?
Yeah.
Did you preach to him afterwards? Stop drinking?
No, not so much, because I got annoyed at people.
Yeah, you got annoyed at preachers.
Yeah.
Okay, so when did you realize that you had a version of you that you wanted to be versus the version of you that you were being?
Right around middle school.
Okay, tell me how you found out about that, because what's fascinating is I get it. There was always the hallucination of who I wanted to be. Yeah. There's the whole average sucks thing. It's like there's this guy I am, and then there's this guy that I really think I am, that I should be. So what set that off in middle school?
When I started getting out and being more involved with different people, my parents were very strict, and so held me down.
You grew up in a religious household?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I did.
Like extreme,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was, I appreciate it now, but at the time I hated it.
Okay.
But I started hanging out with my friends and different people, and I started seeing people who were outgoing and didn't have like the scaredness when they would go up to talk to people. And I'm like, but then what I saw, the direct correlation, what I thought was helping them be that way, was drugs and alcohol.
Got it.
And
even at a young age?
Yeah, I remember there's a specific conversation right outside the middle school. And this guy, he was laughing, he had fun, he had a big smile on his face, he was talking with girls,
Was this
talking
during
with guys.
school?
This was after school,
Okay.
at a basketball event, some sporting event that I would go to. I was grounded most of the time, but my parents allowed me to go to sporting events in school.
You're grounded to avoid this kid. Your parents probably were pretty smart if you think about it. Like if your school at middle school had drugs and alcohol, you talking about weed? What are you talking about?
I think so. I think it was weed. I don't know. He just would talk about different things, and I don't remember the very details of the conversation, but I remember I started journaling a lot the last probably 6 months.
Okay.
And so things are starting to come to light.
Now they are.
Yeah, now they are.
We're not talking about you were journaling at 12.
No, I was not, yeah.
So you're 12, 13 years old. You're outside the middle school. Tell me about this kid.
He just would talk to girls. He would talk to guys, and he had a big group of people following him, and he had a lot of fun, it seemed like. And he was always talking about getting drunk, and he was a high schooler. I was a middle schooler. And I thought that the key was drugs and alcohol to be able to be that kind of person. And
so pre-puberty, puberty kid, talking to girls, wanting to talk to girls, watching an older guy talk to girls, taking drugs, drinking. He has what you want. The only thing different is the drugs and the drinking.
Yeah.
That's a very, very big challenge right there. I mean, that's not even peer pressure. That would actually look like common sense.
Yeah.
That's like intuition. It's like, hey, if I told you white water bottles make you rich, and I get a white water bottle,
Yeah.
you're going to want to go out and go get a white water bottle.
Yeah.
So my question for you is, what did that lead to?
Nothing
Did it start
at
right
first.
there? Okay.
Yeah.
So did you follow him?
No.
Okay.
No. It was just a guy I saw, observed, and nothing happened after that. I mean, I never even correlated it as to what might have
But it
been
left an
started.
imprint in here.
It did.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good. So fast forward a little bit. When did your partying phase start?
Because of the strictness with my home.
You wish it started sooner, it sounds like.
Yeah, probably. And I feel like maybe it would have been able to out of my system, but it started when I was 18 and I first joined. I got out of basic and AIT, and I had some freedom.
Got it.
So,
Got it. So you got out of basic. Is there a lot of drinking that goes on in the military?
yeah.
Okay.
a
Behind
lot.
the scenes, it looks like everybody's healthy, but is that to deal with life, or is that just that type of person?
I had this deep conversation with some of my sergeants and just trying to figure out while I was trying to quit.
Yep.
You take people who like basketball, baseball, hockey.
Yep.
I mean, all walks of life coming together. Not everybody likes the same thing. Everybody has at least one thing in common, and that's alcohol.
Wow. Common denominator.
Yeah.
And I'm not here to bash it at all, because some
Yeah.
people deal with it, but I mean, I've read the AA book, and it basically talks about the allergy at the beginning. And you remember that little section?
I
don't know
haven't
if
actually
you've
read
read
it,
the book, but
no.
if you read the book, it talks about that, and it says that certain people are predisposed to having a challenge. Like, I know that when I used to drink back in the day, I had fun. I was enjoyable. I was
Yeah.
fun. I calmed down. Other people I knew would just get in a fist fight. Two
Okay.
drinks, and they'd want to fight somebody in the street.
Yeah.
And it was like literally brought out this other side of them to make them do stuff. What did it bring out in you?
The fun side.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly like I wanted it to be. The person that I wanted to be able to fun, outgoing, loving, the life of the party, the people that people wanted to follow. That's what it brought out in me.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when did you realize you had a challenge?
Pretty much when I was living on the street. I was living out of my car in
Okay.
Charlotte. I got kicked
Is this
out.
before Spartan?
This is before Spartan. Yeah, this is
Okay,
pre-Spartan.
so I want to just make sure I'm clear. You go to the military, you get out, you went to Iraq?
Yeah.
How long
yeah.
were you there?
I was there for 15 months.
Okay, very good. 15 months. Did you do all your time, or?
Yeah, I did. I had
Okay.
my 20th birthday and my 19th and 20th birthday in Iraq.
Oh my God.
So
Okay.
I was
Probably
young.
Saw some crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you realize that didn't cause you your challenge.
No.
And then you come back, and you're back here in the States, and then you don't know what to do, or how did you get homeless?
Well, I
What about your parents?
realized I was still in North Carolina. My parents were in
Okay.
Idaho. I realized that I had a drinking problem. This is one of the reasons why also helped me have a hard time reaching out for help, or had a hard time, because I reached out for help. 20 years old, just got back from Iraq. I'm drinking when I don't want to drink, like PT tests coming up. Okay, you want to do good? My goal was to get a 300. I never did get a 300. 296.
What do you got to do to get a 300?
At the time, for my age, it was 92 push-ups, 72 push-ups, 78 sit-ups, and under a 13-minute 2-mile run.
Is that all like right in a row? Mm-hmm. So push-ups, sit-ups, then run?
Well, it's not back-to-back, but yeah, you do it all in the same morning.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
And how close did you get to that?
296 was the highest I got.
Okay,
so
you got pretty
one
damn
push-up,
close.
2 seconds on a run, one push-up,
And you would
one
drink
sit-up
prior to
off.
these?
Yeah.
How good could you have been if you weren't?
Oh my gosh.
Do you think it made you better, or do you think it calmed you down?
It made me worse.
Okay,
Yeah,
got it. But
yeah.
you thought you needed to? I mean, explain this to me. That's not the last thing in the world I'd want to do. Like, I'm even before I do a Spartan race, like the last thing in the world, I'm very cautious what I eat the night before. I make
Yeah.
sure I don't have too much sodium. You know, I'm very like, I couldn't imagine like, hey, let's hit the bar.
Yeah. I can't explain it. I still cannot explain it. It was just, hey, don't drink. You know, that's simple enough. And then as soon as I get off of work, it's just, I don't know. I really cannot explain it. I've tried diving into it with journaling, talking with people. There is no, that's why they call it, crazy, because you're repeating the same behavior, expecting a different result.
And you had no idea that was, okay. So you're
No.
in Charlotte.
Yeah.
Do you have a phone?
Yeah, I had my phone because I had disability at the time. I had like 20% or something like that. This was almost immediately after I got out of the military.
Okay, how long were you living in your car?
3 months.
Okay, and then what'd you do?
Then I wanted to prove to myself that I wasn't an alcoholic, so I got a job.
Okay, where'd you work?
Hip construction.
Hip?
Yep.
Like on your hips?
HIPP. Yep.
Like
He's
not on your
concrete.
hip?
No,
Okay,
that's his
so
last
you
name was
worked in
Hip.
construction. Okay,
Yeah.
very good. He gave you a job?
Yep.
Very good. What did
Yeah.
how long were you there?
It was almost a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
I worked out of town, so it gave me a place to live.
Okay.
So we were always in different places of North Carolina. So
Oh, very cool.
yeah, hotels. So, and then what did I do? Then since I was getting my life back together, I tried to work things out with my ex-wife.
Okay.
And
so you had an ex-wife by 20-something years old?
yeah.
How did I know you?
Well, we were married at the time.
Explain this. Okay. So when'd you get married?
I was I just turned 21.
So you're 21 years old, barely understand life. Just spent a couple years over. Now, did you get married you got married in the military or?
Yeah, I was in the military. We got married for wrong reasons. She was able to get her green card. I was able to get out of the barracks.
Okay, very good. So you got a house. Or whatever you call it, you got better living conditions.
Yeah,
you're making all kinds of great decisions.
I am.
Time.
Oh yeah.
Okay, you're getting someone green cards, and you're not happily married, right?
No, it wasn't.
It was what's the word?
Contract.
Contract marriage. Okay, yeah. Very good. Everyone knows that exists. No wonder you were drinking.
Yeah.
Okay, you weren't very happy. So you wanted to get back together with your ex-wife, and you're wanting to work on your sobriety. Talk to me more about that.
So we had a kid in that time when I was working in Charlotte, because I was lying to her. I just told her I was working the whole time, but at that time I was going to bars, and because I got a certain amount of I got $600 a month, so I was kind of a pretty rich homeless person.
$600 a month.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
But so that all went to alcohol. It was more important to me to drink, so I was lying to her, and then over the course of about 6 months, her thinking that I'm working the whole time. So then she's like, all right, let's try and work on this. And then I moved back to Sanford and got a house, and it didn't work out. But because I didn't stop drinking. I was also smoking a lot of spice back then too.
What is spice?
Synthetic marijuana.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah,
okay.
Really, really bad for you.
Okay. But you thought it was a good idea because that kid did it on the playground.
Well, yeah, and in the military, it started when I got back from Iraq because it was undetectable in drug tests.
Got it. So you were very, very creative, super smart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you get to the Spartan Race? I know someone recommended it at work. What job was that?
This was actually at church.
Okay.
This was fast forward 3 years.
Okay.
And I'm trying to do better for myself. I started going to church, and a guy who was in the special forces.
We drink at church?
The guys I was hanging out with, yes.
Okay, at church.
Well, not at church, but after church.
Okay, got it. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So when church is done, you drink.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? People go to church on Sunday and they beat up their family members on Sunday night, and they drink on the weekends and then go party and then back in church Sunday and then repent.
Yep.
Genius concept. Yeah.
Yeah, no. But so it was a special forces guy, and then all of his special forces buddies who I went with to my first race was Wintergreen. And so that was like one of the top 3, Virginia.
Okay.
One of the top 3 hardest races, and I had no idea what I was getting myself into.
Was it a sprint? Was it a
super?
You went straight into the super?
Yeah.
Which is how many miles?
That one, at that time, it was like 8 to 10.
Okay, I started with the 4-point mile up at hill.
Yeah.
That was it. Yeah, and then I got to the 14 miles.
Okay.
Okay, so you go to super, and weren't scared at all of it?
Oh, I was nervous. Yeah, I was definitely nervous a lot.
How do you handle sleeping the night before? Because I even noticed on races, I don't want to sleep. Do you sleep now?
Yeah, I sleep pretty good.
What allows you to do that? Because every race I had, I literally lay there in the hotel. And I'm not nervous. It's I'm so excited, and I've been working so hard for this. It's like getting ready for a show the next day. What do you do to calm yourself down?
I will pray, and then also do some just breathing work. Work through the breathing.
You totally feel like you're getting up for just a normal day when you do those?
No, definitely not. Okay. Oh, I'm excited. I got the jitters. Tomorrow's race day, and I'm super pumped. I mean, the day before I fly out, I'm super pumped and I'm excited, and I'm just high-fiving everybody. I'm just I am super excited. But, these races for me are, so I go into them just trying to get this calmness about me so that I can not set an expectation so that I won't fail what I'm expected to do. Excuse me. Which has really helped me a lot. But it's been a work in progress. But not setting that expectation has allowed me to be able to just go into the race with confidence with not having the jitters, being able to sleep the night before, which has helped me a lot.
Love it. So basically, you're telling me that when you raced drinking, were you racing better or worse?
Oh, yeah, worse.
Worse. Okay. How has your races improved?
I feel ready.
Okay.
And my training is consistent. I've never had a consistent training. This is my first month of consistent training. I've gotten 100 miles, a little over 100 miles this last 4 weeks. And that's more than I've ever done, probably in a year during the time that I was drinking.
What do your training regimens look like?
4 miles every day. Some are slow, some are fast. We'll do some burpees. This is what I hired a coach, and so he's got me doing some things.
You're letting people help you now.
Yeah.
That's the old you didn't let anybody help you.
No.
You avoided me. You know that, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You signed up for Call to Action, and you were going to do core. And then you avoided me.
Yeah.
Is that because you knew I knew?
2 years.
I didn't know you had this challenge.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were dealing with that. You avoided for 2 years. And then I remember the day we were at Core Strength and I looked you in the eyes, and my friend Casey, who I think he's going to run a race with you, he said he's going to go over the race with you. He's like, why he's going to go with you? Or he mentioned one of those races. He wants to do one of those, he said.
Yeah.
And he basically remembered verbatim what I said. Have you accepted that you're one of the best runners or athletes in the world? I mean, did you know that about yourself before I brought that to your attention?
No.
I mean, how many people do you know outside of the Spartan Race circuit that run 40 races in 6 years?
Not many.
Not many.
Yeah.
How many people from your hometown, your high school?
None.
How many from your town?
None.
How many from down the street here?
I don't know.
How many in
anybody.
an average apartment building in New York City that holds 20,000 people?
Zero.
Zero. So the question is, that's you.
Yeah.
So what makes you drive? Like, what drives you to do this? What drives you to stay sober? What drives you to run these races?
What drives me now, at this moment?
Who cares about that? And I like
Okay.
step 13 of the AA. Yeah. Step 13 is just put alcohol in the past.
Yeah.
That's step 13.
That's exactly what I do. I don't even think
That's something
about
you
it.
used to do. Mm-hmm. That's not even a problem.
Yeah. No. Drinking's not even an issue anymore. What drives me now is, I learned it at Core, really. I just want to help people. And this is a tool that I can do that allows me to be able to do that. Being able to help people. Like, if I didn't run these Spartan races, I wouldn't be here with you.
That's true. I wouldn't want to bring in a guy. Hey, I'd like to bring in a guy that lives in his car, that can't figure his life out, that has a relationship that's dysfunctional. That's true. If you don't run the races, you wouldn't have met me. How do you use it to help people?
Well, with these type of things right here, having some interviews or just being able to share things on Facebook, Instagram, being able to, when I'm out there at the races and people like, hey, didn't you used to drink? Or, some people who know my story from the NBC show that I was on, and different people just knew me from 2014 up to 2017 when I was drinking. And then I'm like, no, so I'm able to share my story with a lot more people because it goes along with the travel. I met somebody yesterday who was like, hey, I love your hat. And then I was able to talk to her about it and gave her my card. And it just opens up conversations wherever you go, which I wouldn't be able to do just sitting at home, not doing a whole lot.
So I'm going to throw something very interesting at you. You used to need alcohol to get out of your comfort zone because you didn't have the confidence. It gave you the confidence.
Yeah.
Now being this racer, this pseudo-celebrity in the circuit, this guy that found a way to be sober, you have confidence.
I do. Yeah.
So your confidence comes from you being you.
Exactly.
And being who it is you've always been and who you're capable of being. Mm-hmm. So tell me about the race you got coming up, and you're here in town for how many races are you running? 2?
2, yes.
2, okay. Yeah. Tell me about the 2 races.
Super and the sprint.
I've done the one up here too.
Did you?
It's got the rope built in. Have you done this one?
Last year once.
It's got the rope built in to the wall, which is interesting. And the Spartan doesn't bring that out. They got it built in. It's it's down the street right here.
Okay.
So tell me about the races. Tell me about which one you're doing. I did the super here.
Okay, super and the sprint. So it'll be Saturday and Sunday, both races at 7:30 in the morning. I only have 2 races from where I was able to.
Most people need an ice bath after one race. You're doing 2 back to back.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, when you run 11 to 12 miles on 2 to 3 times a week,
yep,
it doesn't hurt. And I used to be that. Last year, 2 years ago, I would go out and run beast, and ice bath, and I'm like limping into the race the next day, but the adrenaline takes over, and I'm able to run on any sort of pain really. But so since I've trained consistently, last month I went into the race with anticipation, expectations that I had to get this podium, that I had to be able to do this, to be able to prove myself.
Yep. Which podium do you want? 1, 2, or 3?
Of course, I want 1.
Do you see yourself as a number 1?
I do.
Pause. We're going to work on that.
Yeah.
I don't like that pause.
No,
do you like that pause?
I do not like that pause.
Okay, so tell me about that pause.
The pause is a lack of confidence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself as number 1?
I do not.
Okay, that's not going to work for me. Okay,
yeah.
We got to work on that. Okay, good. So let me ask you a question. What does winning mean to you?
Oh yeah. Okay. Winning. This is what I'm working on with the expectations. Being able to get that cut back is, winning was winning, number 1. But there's a lot more than that. And this is something that I've been learning really through my coach and through the core class that I took with you. And it's about you being the best you that you can be. And
do you believe the best you can be can get you number 1 on that podium?
I do.
Okay, very good. So what's going to take to do that?
Everything that I've been working on the last 2 months. The sobriety is great, but I know
We've already beat that story.
Yeah, I know. So there's more to it than that. As you know, that's why I don't go to AA anymore, because it's just like that's all they do is just live to be sober. There's more to life.
What do
than
you
that.
live to be?
I live to be the best version of myself. I know that sounds like a cheesy answer, but I can't think of anything right now. I want to be able to be better today than I was yesterday.
Are you okay? Because I know arrogance bothers you. I can see that you don't like people that, brag, right? Does that bother you a little bit?
It does.
If you were to accept that you're the best and you have the ability, no matter what race you win, a run, you have the ability to come in first, at worst, second place, what kind of life would that be? How would you run on a Tuesday if you had to keep up the pack? What would that do for you? Would that add pressure to your life, or would that inspire you?
That would inspire. Yeah. With some good amount of pressure, but not like the bad pressure where it's like, oh, if I fail, then I'm failing everybody and myself. It's going to be like, we all need some sort of a leader in our lives in one way or another. And I can be that person.
What changes in your life when you get the podium this weekend? When you get the podium this weekend. I want to say it again. When you get the win this weekend. You ever been up there before?
One time, last year.
How did it feel?
It's amazing.
Amazing?
Yeah.
Did you want to get off?
No.
You like standing up there?
Yeah, I had the trophy. I was holding it up.
How many other people ran with you that day?
There's about 150 per race.
Okay.
Who run actually for the competitive.
Speed, yeah. Yeah. Did you get any penalties?
I did. No, I did. I had the tire flip.
Okay.
Couldn't do it. But nobody got the tire flip, so it was a level playing field.
That's easier for my size, you know that, right?
Yeah.
Tire flip's easier for me. The other stuff's easier for you.
Yeah.
So talk to me about this. What would it take for you to guarantee that for yourself? What would it take to level up above that? That's just what you do naturally. That's who I am, and that's what I do.
To get rid of that pause when I am asked that question, am I going to be number one, or do I believe that I'm number one? I got to get rid of that pause. I got to believe that I'm number one no matter what that I do. Like, I can get third place, but with me, I can still be number one, even though I got third or fourth or fifth, because I did my best and I didn't stop. I left it all out there. I learned things along the way, which is why I didn't get first.
Okay, so this is the logical. So the pause, where the pause comes from, I'm going to talk a little bit of psychology. I helped a gentleman win a huge boxing match the other day.
Okay.
And he just won in like a minute. Does that make sense? And the reason was, what it was is we visualized the whole thing out in advance and we planned the whole thing in advance. There was zero other option that was possible. So I don't know about your competitors and who you're up against, but I do know that we can get rid of that pause. And if we can eliminate that pause, that's where things happen. So I'm going to ask a question again one more time. And do you see yourself as number one always?
Yes.
Now, you're just saying that.
I am.
You
just
still
saying
had
that.
the pause. So right as I say that, what pops into your brain?
The other competitors. And the amount of time that I've had training, which is about 2 months.
Okay, so you picture them. Okay. Does any of that really matter?
No, it doesn't.
Because the question is, you ran pretty well drinking.
Yeah.
And now you're not drinking.
Yeah.
So you should be better, and you've been through things that a lot of these people have never been through. And the question is, what is your reason for being number one? Why is it necessary?
Not many people listen to number 5 or 6. So, and when you're consistently on the podium, people will be like, this guy's doing something, that the other people who are not doing.
Do you remember when, I'm going to close your eyes, and do you remember when you were about 11 years old, very impressionable, looking for answers, right? Mm-hmm. Something you wanted, no different than wanting a trophy or being number one. You wanted girls, you wanted a good life, you wanted to be cool, right? Mm-hmm. You saw that kid come along that had what it is you wanted. He said the answer was drugs, drinking. Which maybe that set you off, maybe it didn't set you off. But imagine there's people out there in the world of millions of people wanting to run races, become healthier, enjoy their lives, get sober, help a family member, be an inspiration for the world. Because one of the things that I do when I run is I realize one of 3 things are happening. One is I'm getting myself in shape. Number 2 is people that drive by think I'm crazy. Number 2 is people drive by go, I should be doing that shit. And number 3 is people get out and they actually run themselves. Yeah. How much does the world need you to do this? How much does the world need you to basically be able to do this, to say, I chose to do that and I did? How many other people are going to hear the other part of this interview and be able to look back and go, he decided to be sober? And if you're listening online, you're not seeing the breathing and you're owning this right now and you're breathing it into your existence. My question is, if you were to visualize right now, you on the podium last time, I'm gonna ask some very simple questions. you're picturing yourself. If you picture yourself on the podium, do you see Scott in the picture in your head on that podium?
Yes.
I want you to imagine you're in those eyeballs, and I want you to see it out of your own eyes, sniper style. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You're standing there big, shoulders back, breathing big, and you did it. And I want you to see the people around you and feel what you felt and hear what you heard and see what you saw. Can you go ahead and do that right now as though it's happening? Anybody listening in the background, all you have to do is do the same thing for yourself. Anything that you want to achieve, anything you want to make happen, you've got to add that for yourself. So you got that feeling going on in your body, seeing it out of your own eyes. And I want you to very quickly imagine you're feeling bigger. Put your shoulders back as though you're standing up. You're feeling even bigger. And I want you to imagine that feeling and holding that in your body. See what you saw and feel what you felt and hear what you heard as though it's happening again now. And I want you to imagine for a second, somebody comes up to you and goes, do you have any advice? And the words that are going to come out of your mouth, the simplistic words that come out of your mouth are very, very powerful. The words are going to go something like this. This is who I am. This is what I do. I win. My question for you is, if you put yourself in that position, do you remember how you felt that day? Remember what you saw? I want you to imagine it's a few days from now and you're looking back. It's Monday and people are saying, how did your race go? It went exactly as I expected it to in advance. So what I know is you've already run. You've already done the race. You're already standing on that podium, already doing what it is that you're going to be doing, because that podium's identical. You know, they travel that podium from one city to another. They have trailers that bring those, and I've seen those trailers bring those. It'll be a very identical podium. You've already been on there before. But you're putting yourself back on that same podium one more time because you choose to be back on that podium. And as you're standing there up on that podium and you're looking out at the crowd, you're just doing what you've done before. There's nothing you need to win. You just need to show up. And if you show up, that is what someone like you does. So it doesn't matter how many races you've run or what you've done. And a month from now, when you're looking back and you're wondering why life is easier, why your races are doing better, why more people are reaching out to sponsor you, why things are getting easier, why you're feeling even more of a professional at what it is you're doing, you're going to recognize very quickly it was your decision today to own what it is you do. So in a few seconds, I'm going to ask you a question. It's going to activate something inside of you. It's going to go back to all those times in your life when you've known what it is you needed to do. And I want you to very, very simply to answer this question. Who's on the podium?
Scott's on the podium.
Open up your eyes.
I am.
So tell me about this race that you're going to win this weekend.
This race is going to go exactly how I have planned.
And how's that plan work?
I'm going to nail every single obstacle. There's not going to be any penalties. I'm going to have fun with a smile, and I'm going to run with confidence, chest up, legs fast, and there's not going to be any fatigue because it's just going to be there for fun. It's not going to be there to have the pressure. It's just going to be there so I can inspire others and so that I can win.
My friend, Jeremy, our friend, said something to me before my first race. He said something simple to me. I said, any recommendations you have? He said, train harder than the race.
Yeah.
Because if you train harder than the race is easy. You've been training for 12 years. That's what you've been doing. From Iraq to going to basic to beating sobriety to getting out of a relationship, having the courage, one that did not work for you. You've already done all the training. I think the individual training doesn't matter. It's already been one up here. Yeah. So you go to bed tonight and you're going to race tomorrow.
I am.
You go through a necessary process called sleep, and your brain's going to put the exact pictures that you need to see what it is you need to see to get there. So why do you recommend people do a race like this?
When you come out there, when you first come out there, because you got to get out there. That's I think the hardest part is because you're nervous. You don't know what you're getting yourself into. And so I believe if you can get to just to that point, you've already won. And then you go out there into the obstacles and you compare these obstacles to life. And when you accomplish those obstacles, whether you need help or you did it on your own, then you know that you can accomplish anything.
What's harder, 8-foot wall or sobriety?
Probably the 8-foot wall. Yeah.
Get that concept?
Yeah.
Can't believe you're saying that. Are you?
Yeah. Yeah. Because in order to get over that 8-foot wall, you gotta look at that wall, and what's in the way is alcohol. And so if you keep your eyes on that obstacle, that you're going to be on the other side of that obstacle, the alcohol falls away, or whatever it is that you're struggling with will just fall away because it has to in order to get over that wall.
What are you going to do on Monday after you won?
I'm going to carry my trophy with me to work and share it with all of my clients.
Yeah. You're going to let them hold it? Who's going to hold it first?
Whoever has the 8 o'clock appointment. I don't know.
Excited about that?
Yeah, I am.
Never looked at it this way, did you?
I'm going to give it to my boss.
You're going to give it to your boss?
Yeah.
What about your buddy? When are you going to call your buddy and say thank you for introducing me to these races?
I haven't talked to him in a while,
You
actually.
might want to call and
Yeah.
say thank you.
Yeah.
As soon as this meeting's over, as soon as our little interview's over, I want you to make that phone call.
Okay.
You're going to thank that person.
Yeah.
You owe that person that conversation, don't you?
Yeah.
They'll change your life.
He's stationed in Seattle now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's close enough.
Give him a call.
I will.
Let him know. Tell him thank you. So anything else I can help you with at all, or anything you need, or anything I can help? I can answer any question for you on anything. Anything you want to know about anything in life?
You did it. You got rid of that lack of confidence.
Who's going to win?
I am.
Did you feel that?
I did. It's power from here.
When are you going to own it? Remember the honesty, the fear we have inside of being all of ourselves. Have you accepted how great you are at this?
I am. I'm getting to that point. I haven't.
Have you accepted
fully
how
yet.
great you are at this?
I have.
Are you the best in the world? No.
Yeah.
But are you great at this?
Great. Yes.
Are you understanding this? I know
I
you
am.
don't want to admit that, because then as soon as you admit you're great, all the attacks come.
Yeah.
Everybody comes after you.
Yeah.
But that is the only way to be the greatest, is to put your head out there. You might
Yeah.
get shot out,
Yeah.
but you got to realize that. You got to be willing to go for the trophy if you actually want to win the trophy.
Exactly.
So we got the answer ready. So if you were to give any advice, health-wise, to anybody, what would you recommend? Staying healthy, being healthy, dealing with alcohol, what would you recommend?
Setting a goal. Setting a goal is huge. And then not just setting it, but you got to write it out and you got to tell people the goal. Because when you write it and then you tell it, it becomes real.
It's like telling people you're going to win.
Yeah,
I know it's uncomfortable to tell people you're going to win, but it's necessary, isn't it?
it is. Yes.
What's your diet like?
I avoid sugar, bread, and
For what reason?
it makes me sluggish.
Okay.
Mentally, I'm not as clear. I drink lots of water. I drink kombucha.
Nice. Is that your
And-
brand we got you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ginger. That's my
Yeah,
favorite.
you like that? Okay.
Yeah, the ginger's really good. It
My
helps you
wife
absorb.
always knows. Yeah.
Yeah. So I eat a lot of berries, ginger root. I throw in my so ginger and turmeric, kind of a nasty combination. But if you
I
throw
do it all the time.
yeah. But if you throw in a lot of berries with it, it's good.
All you do is skip the berries. Tough it out. Tough it out. Tough it out makes it easy. And one thing I want to give everybody watching right now, to put them in a really, really cool video, you'd love this, on the mental side of health and food. So go to michaelbernoff.com, be healthy, and go to michaelbernoff.com/be healthy. I made a really, really powerful video on food, on eating, on controlling your diet and controlling your energy. It's absolutely incredible. I'll make certain to send that to you as well. So go there, check that out, share that with anybody. Make sure to share this episode with people as well. And really appreciate you coming out. I'm very, very excited about you sending me the pictures on the race. I'm not certain now we didn't pick both.
Yeah.
But I know you're getting podium on one of those.
Yes.
And we're going to definitely do that. And just let other people know that you're going to be doing that as well. Most importantly, before you go to bed, I'm going to recommend that we're going to activate something inside of you before you go to bed tonight, before your head hits the pillow. Your unconscious mind is going to know exactly what it is it needs to do. So I cannot guarantee this for every race in the future, but it's going to go through a process called sleep. And while you're sleeping, it's going to take some of the ideas, thoughts, concepts you've had in your life up till now that are not going to be needed anymore, and it's going to automatically delete them. So they're not there. So when you're racing, you're going to have less thoughts in your head. Don't get worried that you feel lighter.
Yeah.
Don't get nervous that you feel stronger. Just be okay that you're lighter and stronger, and that's why you're running better. Just roll with it. I apologize in advance if you run faster and you're feeling better and you're feeling stronger. I do apologize that it may feel uncomfortable. Deal with the uncomfortableness. That's you being the real you.
Yeah. I'm excited. Hobie Call said he's going to be there. Do you know who he is?
Who's that?
Hobie Call. He's
I had no idea.
He's been rated the best in the world. He retired 2 years ago, but then he wants to come back.
Come back to race you?
Yeah. So I'm excited to be able to show him what this young buck can do.
He's on a break. Your time to get going.
That's right.
All right, my man. Scott, appreciate you. And I'm super
Thank you.
excited about you guys. Get out there, find a Spartan race, get yourself sober, do something, reach out to this guy. How does everybody get a hold of you?
Instagram, very simple, Scott Giltner, Giltner. And I keep it simple, so that's not hard to
You
find.
looking for a sponsor?
I am. Yes.
Okay. What
Be great.
does it mean to be a sponsor?
To be a sponsor, be able to do more of these shows and be able to help get your brand out there. I would love to have somebody like this guy train hard, something that I believe in. It's not a logo, it's not a company. For me, it's a way of life. And so just being able to get the sponsorship, your brand out there more, especially with an up and coming athlete who's going to be getting on the podiums and who's going to be on the pro team by the end of this year. It'll be a good investment.
I love it, brother. I love it. We're going to work hard to get you that.
All right.
So I got to ask you in advance, is it okay if that part's gone?
Yes.
Like you're totally confident. Like I always ask in advance, and the reason I ask in advance is It's very important to understand why a fence is put there before you destroy the fence, because the fence is used to hold bad things out. I want to make sure we don't want it. So are you absolutely okay to obliterate the confidence?
Obliterate.
Okay, the lack of confidence.
Yes.
And to build up the confidence.
Yes.
Okay. The body cannot hold two emotions at one given time. You can't find it.
Nope.
That's fucked up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tell me about being insecure.
There is no insecurities.
That's really weird what just happened.
It is crazy. Well, happy Monday. It is the 17th of February, day after the race weekend, and first day at work, first day back to reality. So what I want to share and what I thought is, I'm just blown away by this. Friday, Michael Bernoff did a podcast, and it was it's on the show called The Average Sucks Show. He asked me if I am able to accept that I am going to be on the podium this weekend. I didn't believe it. And then, so you guys were watching the podcast, there was some stuff that he talked to me about, changed my mindset, had me confident, and I was ready to get on that podium over this weekend. The mental state that it put me in was not in, I gotta win. It was more, it made me realize that I'm winning because I'm out there running this race and I'm doing my best. And then I was still blessed with a third place finish, which is huge for me, being really competitive the last 3 months, maybe 2 months. Something I have desired since 2014 when I ran my first Spartan race. So a huge deal for me. And he asked me this question, and you guys will hear it and you'll hear my response. It was, what's going to happen on Monday? And I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll go with it, Michael. I am going to bring in my trophies on Monday, and I'm going to show my boss, and I'm going to show my clients, and I'm going to talk about the success story. And it was, I didn't believe it. And sure enough, he helped me. Let me get this. He helped me change my mindset, and voila, there it is. So this is Michael Bernoff. He's the Average Sucks. .com or AverageSucksShow.com, and these two things are huge in my life. But I want to share with you guys The Average Sucks. Michael Bernoff, he's really good with being able to communicate and help you learn how to communicate with yourself. 3 months ago, I was a totally different person. I had my mind state on other things that weren't, I guess, positive or beneficial to me. Even though I was sober, that's kind of like all that I was doing, and he helped me realize that, then simplified my life. The Average Sucks. I believe in it so much, so it's why I'm able to talk about it with such passion, because that's not what it's about. It's about being the best version of you that you can be and helping others along the way as you go. So, yeah, I was super pumped. I didn't think that I would be able to, and so, that's something else that I learned, and here it is. We spoke existence, made it happen, visualized it, and here I am, 2 trophies, exactly what we predicted on Friday. Who'd have thought? Oh, it's fun. But yeah, listen to the podcast. I'll let you guys know when it comes out, and I will talk to y'all soon. Have a good night.
I'm thrilled you had the opportunity to join us, and typically after I get excited about something, my typical response is, what's next? And I wanted to make it real easy for you to have access to some training and other materials that will help you get what it is that you want in your life, because the entire idea is to teach you how to communicate with yourself in a way that influences you to get what it is that you want. So on this page is access to a free 1-hour training, absolutely free, to pick up where we left off here, but most importantly, give you tools, strategies, and ideas on how to get more in your life to get more of what you want. So you know what to do. Take action, click the button. I'm excited to share more with you soon.